speaking raw wisdom through the storm and the gale. Every harsh word, a dagger that cuts, can slice through the silence, breaking the ruts. No sugarcoating, no softening the blow. Had to say it, no holding back. Words like fire, igniting the track. Listen or leave, it's your call tonight. Aaron's the storm, he's ready to fight. Voices echo in darkness, where honesty dwells. Aaron drops knowledge, casting his spells. Feelings are fading, lost in the fray. If you can't handle it, step out of the way. It's a bitter pill, but he's done being nice. Had to say it, no holding back. Words like fire, igniting the track. Listen or leave, it's your call tonight. Aaron's the storm, he's ready to fight. It's a bitter pill, but he's done being nice. Had to say it, no holding back. Words like fire, igniting the track. Listen or leave, it's your call tonight. Aaron's the storm, he's ready to fight. So brace yourself tight, prepare for the quake. Aaron had to say it, the truth won't break. Yeah, the truth won't break.
Fuck me. I've been talking this whole time with the microphone muted. This is a fucking... Oh, today is off to a peach. That's, what, 15, 20 minutes I've been running my yap here where there is no fucking audio. That's fantastic. So I am going to have to start all over again. So we're going to say, as we do at the beginning of every episode, to Iceman, Jason, Javier, Fitz, McShane, El Jefe, El Devlin, El Morte, to the guys of the Report, to Billy G, to Walt from the B-Rail Podcast, to Kate, the Duchess of New Jersey, to Boomer Bob, to George Fontes of the Weather World Ablaze Podcast. Thank you guys for your continued support. I appreciate everything. I am now going to have to go rehash everything I just said for the last 15 fucking minutes. Okay, first and foremost, my apologies to anybody that didn't show up because nobody's in the stream right now, that was expecting this to start at 7 o'clock and was like, okay, Aaron must not be doing this shit. Once again, technical difficulties. My streaming platform setup apparently is ass. I did manage to figure out a workaround and get it kickstarted. For whatever reason, it tried to restart under last week's stream. I'm still working out the kinks. I don't know what I'm doing here, and I only have so much time in the day to play with it and figure things out. So I'm doing the best I can. And like I said, literally just realized I've been talking for 15 minutes with no fucking audio because I had the mic on, my Rodecaster muted. And like a jackass, I have my monitors in, but I didn't have them turned up high enough to realize I can't hear my own voice because I can still hear my own voice. It just sounded a little weird. And yeah, so that's great. I apologize to everyone. When this episode posts, I'll cut all this shit out, all that dead air. But anyway, so to rehash everything, this is what is actually the 5-year anniversary episode of the show. I've been doing this. I started the first episode, actually the first 3 episodes came out on August 31st, 2020. Now, that was, that's when I was laid off. I mean, pretty much anybody that's followed the show for any amount of time knows the background story. I got laid off. I got furloughed, however you want to put it. And I didn't have shit to do. My wife got sick of me having to talk to her. So she said, here, I got you this microphone. You get to start that podcast you've been talking about for the last 5 or 6 years. And, you can go talk to random strangers on the internet because I've already heard everything you have to say, you bald, boring fuck. And that was the origin story of this show, as it were. I had a lot of ranty going on. The country was burning. My hometown was on fire. Fucking George Floyd kicked off a fucking series of riots by ODing in police custody. And a shit show ensued. Over the last 5 years, I have done this show pretty regularly. I mean, I've missed a couple weeks here and there, a couple deaths in the family and things like that. And when that stuff comes up, it takes priority. This is still a hobby. It's still just me doing me. And it is what it is. So that being said, it's been a pretty interesting ride for the last 5 years. I've got some stats and some figures we're going to look at and some stuff we're going to go through. And I already went through all of this, but at least it'll go smoother this time because now that you can actually hear me, you won't have to deal with me tripping over my own feet figuring things out because I already did all this shit once. So one of the things that happened was starting last week, I found out that the RSS feed that was going to YouTube was publishing everything as a private episode. So literally none of my podcast episodes were platforming on YouTube, which in and of itself, I never really took it too seriously when I look at my analytics that it never showed any downloads on YouTube because I'm not YouTube friendly. It's one of those things like I've never had I've picked up several subscribers over the last 2 weeks, which has been really interesting since the first live stream recording episode. I find that entertaining because that means, the first few I picked up were like, my regulars. It was, Billy G and a couple other guys, Duchess, and I think John signed up. But anyway, point being, I picked up a few of you guys, and then I realized the podcast was publishing every episode as private. And that was a problem. I had something set up wrong. I went back, I figured it out, I fixed it, and it opened the floodgates, basically. I took the RSS feed off of private, and it dropped 311 episodes all at once. Or actually, no, I'm sorry. It was 309 episodes all at once. And then there's been 2 intervening episodes since. Now, one of the unintended consequences of this, I picked up a few more YouTube subscribers that I don't know who they are. Random people that, it popped up in their algorithm for whatever reason. There's some keyword in there somewhere that something else they were searching for, and it came up, and apparently a few people listened to the couple episodes and decided they liked it and signed up. So, yay, that's great. Thanks. Welcome to the fold. I appreciate you guys. Hope you enjoy the content. Picked up a few trolls, a few comments sort of like, this is straight ass. This is booty. You suck. Typical shit like that where it's like, okay, that's really constructive and helpful. Thank you, Twat Waffle McFuckmuffin. I really appreciate you publishing that this is straight ass. I'm sure you're not like some bottom feeding parasite that's sitting around watching fucking mushmouth rappers and shit and thinking that you're going to be the next big thing because you and your boys are going to blow up someday because you're really dedicated. But no, my shit's straight ass. So that means a lot. And the best part is most of the disparaging comments are on like older episodes. I got some actual useful feedback comments from people that sincerely seemed like they might actually be trying to give constructive criticism, which was fantastic. People saying I needed to take the de-esser and clean up the audio feed, which, again, was on an older episode where I did not have the same setup I have now, where everything was being run through a Chromebook, where my audio editing software was limited, where my knowledge base was limited, so I didn't know how to clean up the RSS feed and make the audio sound better, which is something I like to think I've improved on a lot over the intervening 5 years. So that was useful feedback. I said, hey, thanks, I appreciate it. I had somebody that was like, dude, all your thumbnails are the same picture. That sucks. You need to make a new thumbnail for each video. And I explained to that guy, I said, look, bro, it's pulling the thumbnails off of my RSS feed for my podcast. When I started this thing, I wasn't doing a new episode art every episode, which I should. And I try to these days, now that I have like access to AI where I can, churn out some whatever image that I think fits the title of the episode. And I told the guy, it's like, I'm starting to differentiate now, but I'm not going to go back through and make 300 pieces of show art to go back and change every thumbnail for the last 5 years worth of episodes. And the guy was like, oh, I didn't realize you'd been doing this that long. It all just showed up all at once. And I'm like, yeah, I screwed up, And that was somebody that actually wanted to be constructive and useful and helpful. So I was like, I appreciate you. Thanks, homie. And that was that. And, so, all right, cool. Now sorry guys. And now that I'm actually here looking into now I'm finally starting to see the comments. Like I said, this audio thing has been a fucking nightmare. I apologize for not being able to hear me. Hi, Latoya. Hi, Duchess. Yeah, so it's completely lost my train of thought again. This is going to be happening a lot, so I apologize in advance. Especially because I already went through 15 minutes before I realized nobody could hear me because I was running my mouth with my microphone muted. So, anyway, yeah, 5 years, finally got YouTube rolling. Not real concerned about my numbers on YouTube because you have to get to like 500 subscribers and I think it's 3,000 hours of playtime before you can monetize. I'm never going to have that happen. I am not the kind of person who produces the kind of content that YouTube will push. I'm not going to self-censor. I'm not going to say certain words to place hold for other words that the algorithm doesn't like because I don't care. I don't do the show to make money. I do the show because I like doing the show. I do the show because, as long as you guys are still out there and you want to listen to me, I'm going to keep doing it. If nobody fucking listens to me, I'm still going to do it just because screaming into the void is good therapy for me. So for you new folks, that's something for you to just be aware of. It's going to be a thing. It's not going to change anytime soon. I am what I am, and that's all what I am. Thank you, Popeye. You were right when you said that. Now, the couple other things that I said before I realized the audio was off that I'm going to explain. I apologize for the lighting and the dimness of the room. Like a week and a half ago, I had the light fixture in my fan shorted out. The fan still works. It's keeping the air moving quite nicely. Light fixture refuses to turn around. I checked the bulbs. I checked the switch. It's fried. I don't know what's wrong with it. Was going to change it out over the weekend so it would be well lit in here today. Threw my back out Friday after I got off of work and was basically a cripple all day Saturday and all day Sunday laying around with, Salon Pos patches on my back. Not sponsored, but hey, if Salon Pos is out there and you want to send me a free box, my back hurts all the fucking time. Now, that could be because I'm horribly, horribly out of shape. It could be because I'm old. It could be a combination of the factors. But either way, yeah, climbing up and trying to replace a ceiling fan was not on the list of shit that I felt like trying to pull off over the last couple of days. So it didn't happen. So I am working with my photography backlight light back there, and then a couple of really janky like stand lights that I got a while back when I was like still trying to pick up hardware on the cheap to maybe I'll do live streams. I don't know. Maybe what am I going to do? I don't know how this podcast is going to go. I don't know how things are going to work. I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. And every time I got some weird email like, "Hey, this is a great deal. These are $10 for 2 LED podcast lights that get bright as shit." Yeah, they do, but the lighting on them sucks and they're on tripods. So if they're not, and they're little tripods, so they're on my desk, so they're weirdly positioned and I have to work around the monitors. And I really should just break down and get a ring light to put on the webcam or a better tripod for my frigging better cam, because I actually do have my other camera hooked up here where what we're going to do is real quick. I'm actually going to switch over to the other camera just so you can see the difference, because why not? John did this on the Boomer Bunker today. We're going to do it so you can see Aaron's other camera too. So here, this is my current webcam, the one I've used for every live stream, everything I've done thus to date. And this is the camera that is a fancier, this is a 4K picture. I mean, the lighting difference, obviously it picks up the lighting better. This thing's cool. It's got night vision and a bunch of other shit on it. But I was going with the old camera because honestly, like I said, the positioning on the new camera is not great. It's not, although, you know what? I think I like that picture better. I think we're going to switch it back. Yeah, that's better. So, yeah, the overall, like I said, it's a work in progress. I'll get better or I'll quit, one of the two. I'm probably not going to quit though. I'm going to get better because that's the kind of person I am. I get determined like that. But so I talked about that. I talked about the situation here. I talked about what else? People talking shit, picking up weird people in the comments, which, hey, I mean, good for you guys, whatever. It's really, like I said, I appreciate constructive feedback. I like people that leave me comments. I like to interact with you guys, but when you're going to say something stupid, at least make sure it's stupid and accurate. Like I said, don't say I'm complaining that the age of consent is too damn high on an episode where I talk about feeding pedophiles into chipper shredders. It just makes it show that much more that you didn't give me any kind of effort to actually listen. I probably said something in the first half of the episode that pissed you off, and you got all butthurt in the left and decided to try and leave a hurtful comment that you're going to try and, AstroTurf my fucking algorithm, but at the end of the day, since I don't care about listens or streams or monetizing, you have no power here. So that's kind of how things have been from the jump. It's not going to change anytime soon. Nobody's coming around looking to buy the show. It is what it is, what it is, and that's all there is to it at the end of the day. So, yeah. Anyway, looking back, 5 years of recording this nonsense almost every week. Ironically enough, still have more than 5 years worth of episodes out. If I had been posting one episode per week, I got some numbers here because I was like, well, this is something I might actually want to talk about. So people might be interested, might be curious. I mean, I'm not doing massive numbers. I don't, and I already said all of this, poured my heart out with the microphone muted. It's, tale of my life. So I had, like I said, I don't do massive numbers, but I came into this during like the massive podcast boom of 2020, where everybody and their fucking mother that was not at work, not going out, not being social, decided they needed to start a podcast. And really, I get it. I mean, I really do. It makes sense. I mean, we needed social interaction. We needed ways to talk to each other. I get it. The thing is, that's also the reason why there is, and John's bitched about this. I've bitched about it. A lot of people have bitched about it. You go into like Apple Podcast or Spotify or any of the other podcast platforms. There's like 7 million fucking podcasts out there. Probably 6.8 million of them have like less than 10 episodes. A lot of them faded out after a fucking year. The fact that I'm still kicking around after 5 years is not a bad thing. But I mean, well, actually, I'm sure there are people out there that do think it's a bad thing. Howsoever, I don't think it's a bad thing. And one of the things about it is, like I said, I think I've gotten better. The sound quality's gotten better. People saying, oh, well, you need a de-esser. Yeah, that's useful feedback. I did find that out when I stopped editing the podcast on a Chromebook. That's one of those things. Chromebook, there's not a lot of great software that runs on a Chromebook for cleaning stuff up. I mean, it exists, but it's cumbersome. It's hard to use. There's better software available if you get an actual PC or a Mac, if you want to run GarageBand, which is, I guess, like the standard for a lot of people. But I do what I can. I make it work. I think I've gotten better. I think my microphone technique's gotten better. I think my editing has definitely fucking gotten better. I've learned how to do a lot of things over the intervening years, and hopefully the video and the live stream stuff will keep up with that, where it will be a thing. It will be fine. And, I'll get better at it as it goes and start cutting together video and doing, doing shorts and clips and all that other stuff. I'm obviously not doing that as it sits right now because I don't feel the need to. It's not something I'm overly concerned about. Anyway, yeah, I'm rambling again. Shocking to anyone, I'm sure. Beyond that, though, the whole the 5 years things, it's been a go. It's been a thing, it is what it is, what it is, what it ain't. So, in the last 5 years, like I said, I've done an episode almost every week. I took a week off a couple of times from, like mental health breaks. Took some time off a couple of times because we had like deaths in the family or, various reasons. Something came up where I had to be out of town and I wasn't about to just, haul all this shit with me so I could record and put a half-assed effort in on a fucking, in a motel room somewhere or anything like that. But yeah, so 5 years, like I said, 3 episodes launched the first day. Was dropping 2 or 3 episodes a week sometimes because there was a lot going on between the riots and, my hometown catching on fire and just generally trying to get the stride and figure out what the show was going to be, figuring out where it was coming from, where it was going. I mean, it took me a while to find my stride. That's why I always say I don't recommend people go back and listen to the old episodes unless you want to hear how far things have come. And, it is what it is. Now, like I said, I pulled up some stats here over the span of 5 years. And I found out some of this specifically because of me dropping all the episodes on YouTube all in one big swell foop. And it was 309 episodes. that dropped all at once. Now, if you do the math, 5 years, 52 weeks a year, that's, like 260 episodes, give or take, if you're doing one a week with, occasional leap year and all that other shit. But anyway, so figure ballpark 260 episodes. Over the 5 years, not counting guest episodes, because 309 episodes was, like I said, that was the whole shebang. That was every episode I've ever published, every short episode, every guest episode, the episode that was literally all podcast ads or pod ads, whatever, like for other podcasts, because I was out of town again for a funeral, and I threw that together before I left, just using every clip that I had from every other independent podcast on the spectrum of people I interacted with, and I made like a 40-minute show that was just ads for other shows. But you take all those numbers out, we got 278 solo shows. Just me, the microphone, running my fucking yap. One episode that was myself and my wife, because she decided to hop on here with me, and we did that one as a live stream. So actually, I don't know if I put that one out as an RSS episode or not. I think we might have just done a live stream for that one. Then we got the live stream episodes that were on YouTube only, of like the one chip challenge that I did with my buddy Jason, the owner of Horrible Designs. He and I did the one chip challenge one year. I don't think you can see it, but over there, the little pamphlets that come with the chip when I completed the challenge. I got those hanging up over there just because I'm trying to tie the theme of this room to all tie into the podcast. So when I do finally get set up to doing video stuff, because I have some ideas for where I want to go with this. And if you listen to the most recent episode, which was a guest episode with the Dad Bod veteran John, he was a cool guy, real good, real fun to talk to. We talked for a few minutes before the episode started, a few minutes after the episode ended, just getting familiar with each other a little bit, getting to know each other. Like I said, really cool dude, good guy. Nice. I mean, he took time out of his day to sit down and talk to me. So I'm like, that automatically gets you a start in the book. Wasn't, trying to push an agenda or anything. Just kind of, I'm glad for him that it took off. I enjoy his content. I've been following him since I started my social media stuff he was one of the accounts that I stumbled across, TikTok suggested it to me when I was trying to decide, when I tried to set up all the social medias because I technically have a social media account on every platform that exists out there, except for like that one Chinese one, not TikTok Chinese, but the other Chinese one, the Weeme or whatever the fuck it is. Yeah, I don't have one of those, or Red Note, which is short for the Red Notebook, the little commie thing. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't have anything on those platforms, but all the other major ones, I set up accounts because I was like, yeah, I'm going to take this seriously. I'm going to bombard social media with my presence. I'm going to get the name out there. I'm going to get the show out there. And then, yeah, I realized really quickly I don't care. So, I mean, not that I don't care about the show, not that I don't care about all of you, that I don't care about doing social media. But like I said, he was a really cool guy because he's somebody who went out there, and you can hear the whole how he got into it if you go listen to the episode. If you haven't listened to the episode yet, like I said, I really recommend checking it out. He's a very interesting guy, cool person, fun to talk to. Yeah, just good dude overall. But yeah, like I said, at some point I'm probably going to start cutting together shorts, and I have plans. I have some ideas. Those audio acoustic tiles in the background are going to be coming down. They're going to be doing some renovations in this room. Like I said, I'm going to be trying to set up a multicam set so I can get different angles without having to move a bunch of shit around, because that sounds fucking tedious. I want to be able to record from the cameras, come back over here, splice the shit together to get the angles and the takes I want, and that'll be that. Because if I can't do it simply, I'm not going to do it, because I ain't got the time to create a whole nother fucking job for myself for something that I'm still, honestly, at the end of the day, just doing for shits and giggles. So, yeah, that was a long, drawn-out way of saying a whole lot of nothing. Anyway, so, yeah, 278 solo episodes, one episode with my wife, 33 guest spots. Some of the guest episodes were actually, had the same people on a couple of times. I've had reoccurring guests. So we had, I'm not going to sit here and go about the whole thing, but I've had other podcasters on primarily. Um, Most of the shows that I've had guests on from are no longer active, which is a shame to me. With a couple of exceptions, Iceman from Motor Cop Chronicles, Yeti F from 8750, who takes podcasting very seriously, and it's doing well for him. So I'm glad for that. Jeff's my buddy; he's good people. Let's see. Nope. Lauren from the Beard Owl podcast, fantastic person, wonderful human being, great guest, fun to talk to. Her husband Russ, I say them. Russ was the host of the Infectious Grooves music podcast. The podcast is no longer active. However, their YouTube channel is blowing up. If you like vinyl, if you like music, if you like talking about videos, go over and check that out. He and Lauren work on that together now, and they talk about all kinds of stuff. It's a great channel. If you're a music person, you should give it a gander. You'll appreciate it. Who else? I've had Jamingo on here, the Duchess, Mike and Tabby Gray, my Aaron can't talk. My buddy Matty Mish from the Bromigos podcast, George Fontes of World Ablaze, new friend of the show, Blake from the Homeless Conservative. He was a good dude too. That was a good conversation. Really enjoyed that one. I plan on doing a lot more guest episodes going forward. I'm not going to actively be seeking guests, but I've been getting a lot more guest request emails recently. The thing is, screening them and vetting them for people I think I actually want to talk to is a bit of a thing. It takes a certain degree of. I need to think we're going to have a decent conversation before I'm going to commit to anything, or I need to have heard you somewhere else where I think, you and I are going to have anything worth talking about. It's really, it's hard for me because, like I said, this show is a hobby. It's not. I don't make any money doing this. If I balance out everything that I have coming in from my wonderful subscribers, I will probably break even sometime around 2028 with all the initial stuff, all the money I've put into the show over the years between stickers and fucking, contests I've run and things I've done and all the hooting and the hollering and the shenanigans and mostly the equipment. Well, I am always, because I'm proud of being a cheap bastard, and while I'm always one to say, yeah, I got a great deal on X, Y, and Z. I got this for that much. I got that for this much. I didn't pay full price for any of this shit. And it's not entirely true. I did pay full price for my Chromebook, but that I can actually justify because I was thinking, since it was COVID, I was like, yeah, I might go back to school. I'm going to take some online classes. I need something to do my classes with. I don't have a shit ton of money because I'm laid off. So we're going to say, okay, this is great. And it's going to be what it is. And so I bought this Chromebook that, it was a couple $100. It was good enough to do the job. Work came for the money I had to spare. It was, it was good enough. It worked with the microphone Shauna got me for my birthday that started this whole adventure. I still have that microphone. It's still hooked up. It's an XLR mic. It still plugs into this Rodecaster. I'm not talking into it right now. It is the secondary mic for when I have another person in the room. I actually do have a couple of people that may be coming on the show, like in-person, in-house guests, which I'm actually kind of looking forward to. I think that'll be really entertaining because, yeah, it was all well and good having my wife in here and talking to her. I think it's going to be a lot more entertaining having some random-ass people that I happen to know that I think you guys will appreciate coming on the show. So that is, again, once I have to get some things fixed. I have to fix the lighting in here. I have to probably, replace that fan completely. I do have another light fixture. You guys don't care about that shit. But, yeah, I need to get the lighting fixed. I need to get the seating situation in here straightened out a little bit better. I have my desk chair in here right now, and that's about it in terms of I don't have a chair for somebody else to sit in. I don't have two matching chairs that I think would look nice in a conversational setting, which is really what I kind of want to go for if I'm going to have guests on the show. We're going to be doing video because why the hell not? If I'm going to live stream stuff, I should live stream stuff. And I can't guarantee that there will be video from all the guest episodes because unless I really double down on wanting to edit video, you either see it in a live stream, which I'm not live streaming the guest recordings because I just don't want to do that. I don't want to put other people in that position. But I'll live stream episodes, and if I decide to start editing video, then maybe I'll think about posting the guest episodes as video episodes as well. I know a lot of people like that, format. They like watching their podcasts as opposed to listening to their podcasts. But a lot of people, podcasts were originally not a video medium as far as I'm aware of. When I heard of them back in fucking 2012, they were fucking audio. So, but again, whatever. Getting off the point here. So, yeah, that's kind of where we're at in terms of what's been going on here. That's what I covered in the first, 20 minutes where I was talking with the microphone muted because I'm a freaking genius. And beyond that, it's another fucking week. It's another case of the same old shit. I've managed to anger the leftists on X, which is always fun for me. It's not that I really want to. It's just I can't fucking help it. I say things they don't like. They make all their assumptions. They come at me with attacks. I ignore them. They think they won because they're low IQ motherfuckers. And since I insulted them and one particular comment I made was on something Gavin Newsom's fucking social media manager posted where I was like, this is only entertaining to people that are already on your side. You're not winning anybody over. Nobody's sitting there going, wow, that's such clever satire, because it's not. You're literally doing all the same shit that you talked shit about Trump doing and saying, oh, well, no, now we're mocking him. No, you're fucking retarded. There's nothing biting or clever or witty about it. It's literally just regurgitating the exact same shit he does. There's no spin on it that makes it all of a sudden seem like it's not a commentary on his content. It's not biting. It's not witty. It's not clever. It's literally doing the exact same fucking thing with nothing that makes it satire other than the fact that it's coming from somebody who was previously a critic of that position. You try and explain that that's not satire. It's just doing the same shit. Because if you don't bring anything else to the table, if there's no commentary behind it, if it's just you're using his style to say your message now instead of his, I feel bad because apparently that's just, it's a shortcoming in this generation where, and I'm sure some of it is people that are old enough to fucking know better because they grew up when I grew up and they had access to things like Sam Kinison and things like George Carlin and Eddie Murphy and Richard Pryor and Mel Brooks and things that actually taught us how you were supposed to be that salt in the fucking wound to things that you thought were wrong, how you were supposed to mock things in an intelligent manner that got your fucking point across, but were still entertaining. And that's what really just fucking gets me about these retards they got running Gavin Newsom's fucking social media. I understand he's trying to make a presidential run. He's trying to get name recognition. It's working to a certain extent because the people that are hardcore dedicated leftists are so desperate for somebody to throw their weight behind that they think this is fucking earth-shattering, hilarious satire. But it, like I said, it really brings no content or quality to the fucking table. And I basically said as much in there. Oh, well, obviously you're a MAGA snowflake and you're triggered. You must, if my temperature is room temperature, yours is freezing because you don't get it and you're upset. And it's like, no, you retarded fucks. The fact that every single comment that was a reply to my statement on the Newsom post started out with "you MAGAs," they all make the same fucking assumption. Oh my God, I chose to critique the asshole they decided to throw their fucking, their support behind. I said, hey, this isn't funny. It's just sad copying. You're not doing satire just by repeating things in his style. It's not satiric. It's not biting, witty comedy. It's just taking his style and saying your dumb leftist shit in all caps. That's literally what these posts are. And saying that, people have Newsom derangement syndrome because everybody talks about how leftists are obsessed with Trump and have TDS, which I think is legitimate. It's actually accurate. Nobody's fucking obsessed with Newsom except for Newsom and his fucking supporters. The rest of us that are like more centric, not the MAGA cultists, right, motherfuckers, but they don't really give him that much consideration either. He doesn't live rent-free in anybody's fucking head, contrary to what his fucking people might think. We just think he's a slimy sack of shit, and we don't understand why it is you are all throwing your fucking support behind this sack of shit. And me personally, I mean, he is a fucking sleazeball. There is nothing about him that doesn't scream inauthentic sack of shit. He wants to talk about, morals and blah, 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 and how great California is. And how his favorite one is, it's the 5th largest economy in the country or in the world. And yeah, he managed to take the state with the 5th largest economy in the world, and it's now the 6th largest economy in the world. Let's start with that. He managed to lose an entire place under his leadership. Secondarily, he managed to take a state that should have a budgetary surplus and add a $56 billion deficit to their annual budget, and trending to go higher. So he has wasted $100 billion fighting homelessness, which is worse than it was when he took office. He spent $23 billion on a train track to nowhere, a high-speed rail thing that got something like 1,800 feet of track laid, I think. I don't know the number off the hand. Again, these are things that should be in my little scribblies here, but they're not. It's just the things that are irritating me. So this guy is a sleazy, slimy, fucked his campaign manager's wife. He's got his fucking vapid trophy broad that hangs on his arm out there. We need to, Gavin's what the whole country needs. No, the last thing this country needs is that slimy piece of shit in office with any more authority than he already has. He already destroyed what was once a beautiful fucking state, tanked what was once a thriving fucking economy, and managed to do all this while still trying to say the rest of the country is the fucking problem. He loves to point out how all these other blue states or red states have a much higher crime rate than California does. But, as is typical with any political fuckwad, he likes to spin those stats where it's like, yeah, when you're talking about per capita, when California has 10 times the population of another place, 100 murders in California doesn't hit the same way as 100 murders in fucking Rhode Island does. So yeah, they're going to have a higher fucking murder per capita. And I don't know what Rhode Island's murder per capita rate is. I don't know what the murder per capita rate in fucking California is, for that matter. What I do know is this worthless, slimy shit stain is real good at, pulling selectively out of facts and figures. They're all good at it, but he takes some sort of perverse pleasure in it. I swear to God, you can see it in his slimy fucking eyes when he does this shit. And then the other thing he likes to leave out, and a fact that pretty much every right-wing yammering talking head likes to bring up every time he makes these comments, is it's accurate, so I will repeat it because it's the truth. It's not like it's the right-wing counterpoint to Gavin Newsom's sliminess, because there are plenty of greasy motherfuckers on the right too, but it's an actual fact, which means it bears repeating. The majority, out of the top 15, I think it's 13 of those, like the murder capitals and the high crime cities in those red states, are all Democrat run. They are blue cities in red states. They are the population dense areas, which tends to favor Democratic horse shit for, whatever reason. I still don't understand that mentality of, hey, these people keep making my quality of life worse, but I have to vote for them because reasons. But again, not the point. The point is, out of the top 10 murder cities in the country, yeah, they're all in red states, or not. Well, I shouldn't say they're all, but the majority of them are in red states. They are all blue mayors, blue city councils, and blue through and through. They're soft on crime judges that let criminals out with any actual fucking punishment or consequences for their actions. It's a farcical shit show at best, and at worst, it's deliberately trying to take this country apart. And it sickens me. It disgusts me. It bothers me. And the fact that people are so willing to turn a blind eye to it and to try and hop behind this slimy motherfucker and say, "Oh, hey, there's our next presidential hopeful boy, a guy who took the most beautiful state in the country, the most prosperous state in the country, and ran it into the fucking ground, where there are literally shit tracking apps for every major city on the fucking thing, where there are cities where you can't go outside, where people are exodusing, where jobs are leaving, where tax money is leaving ridiculously fast because it's a shithole and it's unsustainable. The cost of living in there is obscene. I mean, it's pretty much obscene across the country, and that's a whole nother conversation I could get off on. Especially since I was just talking about home purchasing prices and things like that, and it's kind of at the forefront of my mind. But hopefully there'll be a correction. The market will go. Realistically, as long as the Fed still exists, it's still going to be a fucking problem because they aren't doing us any fucking favors. Their existence, the Fed exists to protect the banks, not to protect the people. All they give us is an inflation, pretend money, and fucking horse shit. We need to go back to an actual tangible standard for our currency. Conversation I was actually having with the wife the other day where we were talking about how when the minimum wage was established, it was $1.25 because $1.25 was 5 silver quarters, 90% pure silver quarters. Now, the fact that minimum wage has jumped up to $7 or $8, whatever the fuck it is now. I don't know because I don't agree with the minimum wage. I don't believe. I believe you should be able to negotiate what you're worth based on what you provide. Not that I mean, now granted, it's a kind of a sticky situation for me at least because I look at it as yes, there are some scrupulous motherfuckers out there that would be paying motherfuckers 2 loaves of bread and a jar of Tang a week to work 40 hours a week if they thought they could get away with it. And for people like that, minimum wage is probably a prerequisite. But on the other hand, those are also the people that hire fucking illegals because they can pay them under the table, pay them substandard wages, and not have to pay a fair market value. Which is another thing I have against illegals being in the country is they do fuck with the fair market practices of capitalism where they do water down the labor pool. There are unscrupulous motherfuckers that will hire them. And then the scrupulous motherfuckers have to try and make a competitive business model with a narrower margin because they have to pay people actual legitimate wages and benefits. And it just, the whole thing's fucked. And speaking of illegal immigration and people having problems with Trump and everything else that's going on, before I forget about this, it was something I was reading earlier today. Apparently, there was a big protest in Puerto Rico saying they want to be a free country and removed from U.S. influence, no longer be a U.S. territory. Me, being the kind of person I am, I was perfectly fine with Puerto Rico being a U.S. territory. The thing is, like, the Dems keep pushing, Puerto Rico should be given statehood. Puerto Rico should be given statehood. No, it really shouldn't. I'm sorry to say it. I'm perfectly content with them staying a U.S. Commonwealth, but they don't want that, apparently. They want us out. They want us the fuck out of there. I hate to say this because it's going to sound like I'm being a prick. Well, actually, that's a lie. I don't care if I sound like I'm being a prick. It's again, it's true. It bears repeating. Like 52% of the people in Puerto Rico are on public aid. They're on welfare. They're on food stamps. They are receiving some sort of federal benefit. If they are given statehood, that's fine. Then they can keep their benefits. If they get their way and they say, hey, you know what? We don't want you. Get out of our country. We're going to be a free and independent country. All of that shit stops like immediately because it's a foreign country. We're under no obligation to support their population. I don't think a lot of these people protesting realize that because they're all very left-leaning, vocal assholes. And that's why Democrats keep pushing for Puerto Rico to get statehood is because it's an extremely left place. It's their ideal situation. It's a population that is majority dependent on federal assistance, on the government taking care of them, on the nanny state making sure they can live. I mean, the country will collapse if they get their independence like these fucking morons protesting are asking for. And anybody with any common sense could probably see that with a very small look. But I'm actually a big believer that sometimes baby got to burn his hand on this fucking stove so he learns not to touch the lit eye, you know? So maybe we give them their independence. All right, here you go. Fuck off. Have fun. Have a nice day. Thank you. Come again. The biggest impact on most American citizens is, yeah, you have to have a passport to go there now. I mean, and the other thing about that is that also means all the Puerto Rican citizens that are in the States either have to, apply for citizenship, renounce their Puerto Rican citizenship, or get the fuck out. So it's, I don't think it's been very well thought through by the people who are leading these protests. But most of these movements are not led by people who are really strong at thinking, much less planning for long term or looking at actual cause and effects. Because again, it's based on emotions. It's based on, oh, Trump's a fucking dictator and we don't want any part of it. If Trump was a fucking dictator, none of these leftist assholes would be able to say the shit they say publicly and be walking free. That is my litmus test for, is this actually a dictatorship? The side screaming to censor speech, the side screaming that you can't say these words, the side screaming that you can't do that because you meet these categories is not the fucking Cheeto. I mean, anybody, like I said, talking about the people that I triggered with my little comment about Gavin being a slimy sack of shit. I am not a MAGA person. I am a MAGA first centrist, or I'm an America first centrist. That came out fucking ass backwards. I believe that until we prioritize our own needs, our own well-being, we cannot babysit the rest of the fucking planet. That's where it stops. I believe that if you come here, you assimilate, or you fucking don't come here. There are 52 Muslim shitholes in this country, or on this planet right now. There's no reason to come here and think that America needs to accommodate your beliefs. Now, I've talked about this before. I'm not going to go off on a big anti-Muslim tear because, again, I'm not opposed to people who believe in Islam. I'm opposed to the fucking jihadist set who believe in following that doctrine about conquering all the fucking infidels. If you want to be a peaceful, happy, loving Muslim and you're going to leave me alone and let me live my fucking life, I don't fucking care. Believe what you want. The minute you start thinking I need to live my life according to your religious values, you can go fuck yourself. And that goes for also any extremist Christians, any fucking extremist anything. I said this a couple episodes. The only thing I've never heard of an extreme Buddhist. That's pretty much fucking it. Anybody who wants me to live my life according to their values, fuck yourself sideways. I have no use for you. You're a fucking sack of shit. I'm sorry. I'm willing to extend you the courtesy of allowing you to live according to your belief structure. You have no right to deny me that same courtesy. And the second you start to do that, I immediately cease extending that courtesy to you. So, do with that what you will. I don't fucking care. Somebody's going to clip it. Somebody's going to take it out of context. I don't give a shit. Again, which is the kind of stuff I say that will have me never, ever monetized on YouTube. It is what it is. I'm not losing any sleep over it. What else? I'm sorry, my notes most of my notes were really about the whole 5-year thing. It was kind of the big deal for me. I didn't. Again, maybe it was mostly because I was laid up with my back all fucked up all weekend, but I just was sitting there and just being sore and achy, and it was really hard for me to focus on anything about the show. Let's see what else. Yeah, see, now this is the part why I always hesitate about live streaming the shows, because when I don't have things a little better planned out, my brain hits a skid and I have to stop and think again for a few minutes so I can get back to my bearings. Let's see. Okay, I talked about that. Okay, so the next thing I was going to talk about, and going to my notes and seeing where we're at and all this other fun stuff. This happened in Scotland last week. There's a young lady there. She's gotten arrested. She's fucking 12 years old, right? Now, Aaron, you might say to yourself, why did this poor young lady get arrested? Well, she got arrested because she pulled out a machete and a fucking hatchet on a foreign individual, and he was recording the interaction, and she was screaming at him because now there was a lot of context not in the video that came up after the fact. But yeah, so she had offensive weapons according to the British government, because she had a hatchet and a machete, because she felt the need to carry these things to protect herself from the foreigners that were, intruding upon her country. And I come to find out after the fact that her older sister, who she was actually coming to the defense of with said hatchet and machete, was assaulted by a female migrant, and then the male migrant jumped in on the party. Basically, the female grabbed her hair and pulled her back, and he started kicking her. And God knows what would have happened next had the young lady not pulled out her bladed weapons. Now, this immigrant takes the video, goes viral. UK government does what it does best and fucks over its own citizens in the interest of these fucking foreign invaders. Charges a 12-year-old with possession of deadly weapons. It's fucking pathetic. Now, at the same time when they're trying to talk tough, like they're getting fed up with the immigrants and blah, 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 you have the Keir Starmer and the fucking Labour Party, and they're a fucking joke. They're literally they've made arrangements with the hotels in the area that they want to, like billions of pounds sterling in arrangements to go out and shelter these people. They're talking about how, we need to start securing our borders, but they can't actually do anything because they're in a bunch of treaties about different countries that basically prevent them from being able to deport any of these motherfuckers. So they have no legal recourse to get rid of the people that are already in their country causing a fucking problem. Not that they seem to care, because they're definitely not coming down on the side of their citizenry. They're just coming along and being stupid. So I've said it before. I'll say it again. The UK is a conquered fucking nation at this point. The people are getting fed up. I hope it's not a case of too little, too late. I'd love to get some fucking, I'd love to get some good news out of the UK. I mean, that's ancestrally, it's kind of, Scotland is part of my family heritage, and I would love to hear good things are going on there. But they're getting, they go out and they're putting up British flags all over the place, and they're getting torn down, and they're getting arrested and charged with hate crimes for saying things like, we don't want you fucking criminal dirtbags to keep raping our women and children. And you go to jail for saying that things if you live there. There was a group of men that had a 12-year-old girl chained up in a fucking house for months and repeatedly was raped and violated in every way you can imagine by a bunch of fucking migrant fucking assholes who had no business being there. Several of them were under deportation orders already, but they're still fucking there because they have the same weak-minded liberal soft on crime bullshit going on where they're letting the third world replace them. There are literally, and they're starting to get to the critical mass where they're not trying to hide anymore. They're starting to actively demand it. They have, Muslim townships and mayoral candidates and village board candidates, and they're saying now we want to implement Sharia law. And it's like, if you really want Sharia law, go to one of the 52 fucking countries that already have it and fuck off. If it was so fucking phenomenal, you would have stayed there, but you didn't. You left. So you're either doing that because your intent is to fucking wipe out the rest of the planet and only have your one faith and blah, 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 which is what a lot of them believe. It's not, like I said a couple episodes ago, I've read the fucking book. I understand that's one of the tenets of it. That's why a certain degree of ire comes out of me when these things come up. It's not like it's not a stated faction of the belief. These are not isolated fucking groups. It's part of one of the tenets of the fucking faith. And anybody who wants to ignore that does so at their own fucking risk. And again, if I was the kind of person that worried about being labeled as intolerant or whatever, I probably would be afraid to say this, but I'm not. I don't care. Call me whatever the fuck you will, because that's one of those reasons I'm happier than most of these miserable motherfuckers that are a decade younger than me, because that seems to be where most of the miserable cunts live, is in the millennial bracket, the ones who are fucking enabling the fucking geriatric motherfuckers who put this play in motion, because none of this shit, none of these young motherfuckers are in a position to have initiated any of this bullshit. This is like the WEF globalist retarded geriatric motherfuckers that are all going to die before their dream comes to fruition. But these smooth-brained retarded young motherfuckers are the fucking, they are the hammer that's being swung at the fucking nail that is freedom and liberty in this fucking case. So it's frustrating to me. I mean, at the end of the day, calling a spade shouldn't be considered a hateful or a, a phobic act. It's reality and truth are what reality and truth are, and whether or not you like them is irrelevant to the fucking matter. It is what it is. That's just the reality of the matter. Tilt that a little bit. No, yeah. Okay, a little better. And it's because I keep coming back to this. I don't want to sound like I'm just harping on the decay of Western civilization, because realistically that's what it is, and it's a self-inflicted problem as far as I can tell, because we have all these morons who are complicit in it. The people that are suicidal empathy, like I keep saying, is going to be one of the biggest, most horrific issues that comes out of all of this shit. The people that are willing to condemn themselves and do so with the best of intentions and the truest of empathy, because they honestly think this somehow makes them a better person or makes them fucking more accurate or more, better educated or whatever other nonsense they tell themselves to make them feel like they are justified in their suicidal fucking bullshit. It's utterly retarded to me, and it's driving me crazy by stages, because it's like literally watching these people. It's like that situation where if you put a frog in a pot of water and you gradually raise the heat level and it doesn't realize it's boiling until it's already fucking cooked. That's the same way I feel about these fucking people. They don't realize, because it's happening gradually, but it's not happening that fucking gradually where anybody with an ounce of common sense can see it's fucking happening. But the virtue signaling, and again, I hate the fact that these assholes are making it where I have to acknowledge the slippery slope motherfuckers were right. In execution of concept, if not execution of fucking principle, because it applies to everything about the left is a death cult, as far as I can tell. I wish it wasn't. I mean, there was a time where I've said this before, I considered myself very fucking liberal when I was young. And I honestly believe that to a certain extent, I probably fucking was, by the standards of the time. The unfortunate thing is that was by the standards of the time. The standards have, the crusty old conservative motherfuckers, when conservative still meant I don't want change, not I just want change at a slower fucking pace. And when that was the case, when liberal meant you wanted change, you wanted to see people's lives improve. Now, we still think we have people, they honestly still believe that's what they stand for. They want people's lives to improve. The problem is how they want it to go about it is unrealistic at best and fucking literally fascist, even though they are the ones that are quick to call anyone who doesn't perfectly align with their ideals a fascist or a Nazi or any of the other horse shit they like to throw around, because they want everyone to have their lives be bettered through direct government involvement and by taking shit from people who have and giving it from people who won't earn. And it's one of those things. Another one of those, it attracted some heat. Made a comment because Tammy Duckworth, my retarded fucking state representative or senator, I hate her with the fire of 1,000 suns. I hate her almost as much as I hate the governor. She is a utterly garbage human being. She should know better. She shouldn't be fucking war hawking. She got blowed the fuck up. Now, granted, she got blowed the fuck up based on whose account you go off of. It's either because she's incompetent or because of shitty luck. But either way, she got blowed the fuck up. You'd think she'd be a little more sympathetic to situations that involve people getting blowed the fuck up. But she was one of those ones that, she never met an appropriation for the Ukraine she didn't like. She wants to extend the war. She's, bad-mouthing that Trump's trying to negotiate a peace talk because it's Trump trying to do it. She was all for every fucking additional cent we sent over there, despite the fact they can't account for the majority of the money at this point. But again, I don't want to get off on that tear. But this worthless fucking cunt says, well, the Republicans are trying to get rid of SNAP and Donald Trump is destroying the middle class. The Democrats destroyed the fucking middle class. Middle class has been destroyed. By every reasonable metric out there, I should be considered middle class. I don't consider myself middle class, but I make above the median income for the country. Not by a lot, but I do make above the median income of the United States. So you'd think logically that would put me firmly in the middle class, since I make more than the middle average income. Now, I can honestly tell you, it don't. It really doesn't. It doesn't help any that I live in Illinois, which is, bears the highest individual tax burden in this country still, despite a couple other red or blue states trying to, claw that title back. Now JB has securely nailed that one. But at the end of the day, like I said, I should be okay. I should be able to say, yeah, you know what? That sounds fun. Let's do that. I shouldn't be living check to check. I make decent money. I don't make great money, but I make decent money. I take issue with people that are trying to say that Trump's destroying the middle class by saying welfare recipients should have their benefits regulated, by saying things like we're going to reduce fraud and waste on these programs, which will actually free up more money for the people that should legitimately have it while costing the taxpayers less money. That is my major issue with all of these, social safety net programs. A, they're not used properly. They're not used the way they were intended. The fact that people have made generations of welfare into a lifestyle instead of using it as the temporary hand up it was intended as sickens me. The fact that we have politicians out here clamoring to keep it that way makes me infuriated. It makes me want to do horrific shit that would get me thrown in jail if I actually vocalized the thoughts that I have when I see this fucking retarded cunt that fucking, stumped her way into office despite being a fucking idiot out here saying, well, Trump regulating SNAP will destroy the middle class. If you're middle class, you shouldn't be on public aid. That literally negates the concept of you being middle fucking class. If you're on public aid, you're fucking poor. Now, to further that concept, and again, this is not that I think nobody should have a hand up. I don't believe that. I know shit gets rough. I've fucking been there myself. I've been denied for aid when I swallowed my fucking pride and went and applied for it. And basically had the caseworker tell me that there was no point because I was, young, white, and didn't have any fucking kids. I wasn't getting any aid. Now, I was trying to keep my fucking heat on because winter was coming and I had 2 unemployed fucking roommates and I couldn't afford to pay all the bills by myself. That was literally all I went. I went to apply for heating assistance. And I got my case closed by a bitch who I said, can I get that in writing? And she said, do I look fucking stupid? The system's broken. They know it's broken. They capitalize on it being broken. And it infuriates me that I have these fucking self-important political parasite motherfuckers who don't seem to realize they work for us. They're not our bosses. They're our fucking employees. But they want to sit here and dictate to us how things should be. And they want to fearmonger. And they want to say this retarded shit, saying Trump is attacking the working class and the middle class by destroying SNAP benefits. No, when RFK and Trump say, hey, you know what? You can't buy candy and snacks and sugary shit and soda with public money. I don't view that as an attack on the middle class. I view that as a perfectly reasonable restriction that people who are on public aid don't need to be spending that public aid on unhealthy shit. Buy nutritionally dense, healthy options, fucking cope. No, you don't deserve Coca-Cola with my fucking money. No, you don't deserve ice cream and candy and cookies and fucking ding-dongs and ho-hos on my fucking dime. Particularly, and once these, statements went out from the federal government and from the administration and was amplified and echoed by fucking leftist talking heads saying how terrible it is and rightists saying it's not terrible enough and all the fucking in between, you get all these entitled fucking freeloading sacks of shit. And, like I said, I'm not opposed to the concept of helping people. So before you want to fucking get your pitchforks and your torches, bear in mind, I don't have a problem with temporary help. I have a problem with encouraging a parasitic class that contributes nothing but little bastard kids that are going to grow up and be further drains on society to the equation. That's where I take issue. If you are a unemployed bitch that has 5 fucking kids by 4 fucking men and none of them are around, none of them are contributing, and the government is paying for everything you get, no, you don't get cake. No, you don't get ice cream. No, your kids don't deserve treats. That's not how it works. This is supposed to be help. This is supposed to be aid. It's in the word. Supplemental nutritional assistance program. That's what SNAP stands for. So by saying through this assistance, you are getting nutritional shit only. No foo-foo shit, no candy, no sugar, no fucking soda. It's a matter of fucking reasonableness. It's people like myself, people who, like, if I went and applied for public aid tomorrow, they would laugh me out of the fucking office. They'd take one look at my W-2s and say, are you fucking insane? Get out of here. You're wasting everybody's fucking time. And then I'm going to go to the grocery store and I'm going to have to put shit back because I don't know about anybody else, but when I go to the grocery store, I have a list. And I also have, because every fucking store on the planet has it now, I have their app open. So I start putting things in the cart while I'm shopping so I can see how much money I'm spending because I have to budget. I know I only have X amount of dollars to go towards food, and then I still need to pay for my gas, I still need to pay my utilities, I still need to pay my cell phone bill, I still need to pay all my other bills, I still need to pay for the 2 remaining streaming services I have, because I mentioned this a little while back. I had to cut a lot of fucking costs because the fucking utility bills in Illinois shot up like 110% 2 months ago. And it's not like there was a temporary adjustment. It's not like they're going to come back down because the state of Illinois is real good at taking more money out of your pocket. They've never given any of it back. I mean, I had to fight with them for years over a tax issue that never should have been a thing. And it's utterly ridiculous. So if I have to do that when I'm out purchasing shit with money I earned, with time out of my life that I will never get back that was used to purchase said goods, why should I give a nickel-plated fuck about the freeloading unemployed sack of shit with 5 fucking kids that has 3 grocery carts because the oldest kid is pushing one, she's dragging one and pushing the other one, and it's full of shit that my tax dollars are going to pay for? So you want to bitch and whine? Oh, well, what? You don't think my babies should have soda? My babies can't have treats? No, they can when you go out and get a fucking job and buy them your fucking self. And ultimately, I might have been a little more forgiving. I might have been a little more generous in my stance on this matter, except for literally every fucking video I have seen in the last week and a half of people bitching about the changes between RFK saying that they were going to take soda and fucking junk food off of SNAP. And this has been going back and forth for a little while now. So it's not like this was a recent development, but every video I have seen of some bitch complaining about how they're going to lose money. Every time I see one of these hood rat motherfuckers posting videos like, look at how much I got, it's all on EBT. Every time I have to see one of these cunts embarrassed that they had to put shit back because all of a sudden EBT's not paying for their free shit anymore, and they only had to get healthy shit like fruits and vegetables and meat and milk, and all of the junk food had to go back on the fucking shelf, and they're whining about it like they're the fucking ones being wronged. Like, oh, my kids can't have snacks because RFK and Trump took them away. No, your kids can't have snacks because you're a lazy, parasitic sack of shit and you are an entitled fucking cunt that thinks the rest of us should be footing the bill. And if I hadn't seen all of these fucking videos, every last one of these fucking worthless, parasitic sacks of shit was, hair did, makeup done, nails did. None of that shit is covered by public aid. So obviously they got money for that bullshit. They got on better clothes than I do half the fucking time. That shit ain't covered by public aid either. So however they're getting the money for this other shit is money they could be spending on their own fucking food like the rest of us have to. So no, my sympathy is non-existent for these fucking people. Now, I have no problem making sure kids stay fed and nourished and healthy. And honestly, when you're the party that believes you can kill a baby right up until 3 days before it's fucking born without it being a problem, don't come to me crying about, oh, what about my kids, bitch? How many did you have scraped out of you? Answer that question before you want to talk about the ones that managed to avoid it, all right? Fuck you. It's not that you value life. You're a freeloader and you're an entitled fucking piece of shit. The people who are actually legitimately like using the programs the right way, the ones who are using WIC or SNAP to temporarily supplement their shortfall to make sure their kids are taken care of, I might feel a little bit of sympathy for them, like, because they're not going out there and blowing their entire wad on junk food and on horse shit. The ones who are doing it the right way, who are using it to buy nutritious, nourishing food for their children, are probably trying to get off the fucking program, because that's what you're supposed to do. It's supposed to make it so you're not struggling to stay alive so you can better your situation enough to get off the fucking program. It's not supposed to be a lifestyle. It's not supposed to be something you raise your kids into. It's not supposed to be a mentality where you tell your kids the government owes you this shit and you deserve it for being nothing. It's utterly disgusting to me that people have this mentality and then have the audacity to say other people are wrong for being fed up with their shit. The just massive amount of entitled fucking bitches I have seen, and I shouldn't. It sounds very like anti-woman when I'm saying this, but I'm really not. It's more that, again, I can speak from personal experience. It's a lot fucking harder for a guy to get on these programs. And now, am I saying there's not a bunch of freeloading parasitic dudes out there too? No, there's a fuck ton of them, but it's a lot more fucking involved for them to get on those programs, because generally the people who administer these things go, oh, woman, 5 kids, no questions. Guy, 5 kids. Well, where's the mom? Oh, you don't have any kids. You're just fucking poor. Well, tough shit for you. Do better. Go out, earn something. Oh, you're not going to earn something? You're just going to fucking get injured, go to the ER, and then walk out on the bill because you don't have any insurance, because you don't have a job, and you fucking get your fucking, Section 8 checks and all this other shit. And it's, like I said, these programs were founded with the best of intentions. They were abused, neglected, poorly administered, and ruined to the point where I have no fucking sympathy anymore. I'm burnt out. I'm out of it. I'm tired of having to go to the grocery store and tell myself, you know what? Maybe, we're not going to be able to have, milk this week. Maybe those bagels are, they're only $4, but we got other shit we need more. Maybe I can't have the breakfast I want because I have to budget, because I'm responsible for my fucking debts, because I make too much money to get public aid, which is not a bad thing. I'm perfectly content with the fact that I make too much money to get public aid. What I'm not content with is seeing a bunch of freeloading people with no fucking desire to better their lot in lives, low expectation having motherfuckers who are content to be this fucking feckless, useless, parasitic sack of shit sucking at the tit of society. It's not that I have a problem with helping people. I have a problem with people taking advantage of the help. That's why I don't help people in my personal life after you fuck me over once or twice. I have family members, like people I share DNA with, that know better than to fucking come looking at me with a handout because the last time they did, I said yes, and they fucked me. If you make an agreement with me and you don't keep it, you don't get a second chance to fuck me over. And I'm getting really tired of being fucked over at the barrel of a fucking gun by a society that takes my money to give it to people that have no intention of doing the right thing. People that think they somehow deserve this shit for imagined slights and shit that never happened in their lifetime. So they think they shouldn't have to fucking work to have everything they fucking want. It's everybody else's responsibility to make sure they're taken care of. And then the pathetic, worthless, weak-willed, soft-minded motherfucking liberal morons who weren't, didn't grow up in a situation where people thought like that because their parents had enough sense to put them into a position of privilege where they didn't have to worry about these things. So they don't actually understand the realities of the situation these people are in. So they just feel really bad because they never actually had to want or worry on their own. They never had to actually make something of themselves to succeed and survive. So they just assume, oh, well, everybody should be pitching in to help these poor, unfortunate motherfuckers because it's not fair. It's not their fault that they're shiftless, layabout, lazy motherfuckers who are entitled to think they should have whatever they want without actually having to do the fucking work. And yeah, it's frustrating. I really, it drives me nuts. I hate the entitlement. I hate the people who think these programs exist because they fucking deserve it for some goddamn reason. I hate the people that think you should have whatever you want simply for the fucking achievement of existing. People like that just rile me up. They get me all fucking pissed off. And then you get these fucking woke, and I'm bringing back things that, like, you know, oh, well, you're just saying this because blah, blah, blah. And then, you know, the kind of shit that makes these retards think, oh, well, he must be MAGA because those are MAGA talking points. No, those are talking points of anybody with any fucking common sense that happen to be real popular in the MAGA movement because they make a certain subset look bad. I don't bring these issues up deliberately to make leftist retards look like the retards that they are because I've got no problem calling out the right-wing retards at the same fucking time for the dumb shit they do. I bring up these points because they're valid, because they're accurate, because they're true. If you don't like it, I don't fucking care. You don't get to dictate to me from your position of privilege where you've never had to deal with these situations telling me I need to be more empathetic towards the scenario. You've never been in a position where you're boiling water on the stove because the stove's electric but the gas is cut off and you still want to fucking wash your nuts without fucking freezing to death because it's the dead of winter and you happen to have a gas water heater in your shitty fucking apartment. And, you know, until you've been in those situations, you've got no right to lecture me for my frustration with a system that's fucking broken and a fucking entire class of people that have no inclination to fucking do for themselves. When you want to, this is why when people tell me I should feel bad or I should feel some sort of inherent guilt for my privilege, I tell them to go fuck themselves because they have no idea who they're talking to. They don't know what I've been through. They don't know what I've done. They don't know what I've had to do. They don't know anything about me beyond the superficial assumptions they make based on very, entry-level shit they might have actually heard about me or might have heard, taken out of context in a statement or whatever. Or, a 240 character post on X that makes them think, oh, well, this guy must be a MAGA and he must hate Newsom and he must hate black people and he must hate, you know what I hate? I hate lazy, entitled pieces of shit. I don't care what color you are. I don't care who you pray to. I don't care who you fucking love. If you're lazy, if you're willfully stupid, if you are entitled, if you think anybody owes you a fucking thing, I hate you. I'm not going to apologize for it. I don't feel bad. I don't feel guilty. And I'm not going to pretend like I do to score some sort of social point with a bunch of people who I couldn't respect less if they fucking paid me. I mean, it's the same thing with these retards. Oh, well, I think I got a zinger off on this guy because I said something that would hurt my feelings if somebody said it to me. I don't fucking care. If I don't respect you, your opinions of me mean less than nothing. If you're not fucking me or signing my paycheck, I really don't care if you like me or not. That's the long and the short of it. I mean, yeah, it's great if you do like me. It's fine if you want to be my friend, if you are a decent human being. If you think I'm going to be the kind of person that's constantly going to be doing shit for you just to be doing shit for you, you're fucking stoned or stupid, and either way, you're fucking wrong. If I see some sort of value in our relationship, if there's some sort of reciprocity in the matter, great. We both benefit from knowing each other. We are enriched for being in each other's lives. That's the kind of people I want to be around. The people who understand that concept and appreciate it and return the feeling. People who feel like I bring some sort of value to their life beyond what I can do for them simply by being there. And the people who want to reciprocate and bring a value to my life beyond what they can do for me simply by being there for me, whether it's an ear to talk to or whatever. At the end of the day, these feckless motherfuckers who think I owe them something just because I have something and they don't can all go fuck themselves with a cactus. I have no use for these people. And when they want to start, well, you're a bigot, you're a phobe, you're an ist. Why would I give a fuck what someone who I don't respect thinks of me? That's realistically, that's something this society has fucking forgotten, is the opinions of people you don't respect shouldn't matter to you. Your life should not be fractured because somebody you think is a fucking retard said something about you that you didn't like. And it goes for the left, it goes for the right. There are snowflakes on both fucking wings of this turkey. And at the end of the day, That's what it boils down to. Why do you invest so much of your time, your energy, and your life worrying about the opinions of people you don't fucking respect or even like? Who fucking cares? And at what point did society say, you know what, you should value the opinion of these people? Why did we become so weak, so defeated? Why does cancel culture work when you got a whole army of people that you don't fucking like able to impact your fucking life? I don't understand it. It's pathetic. It's weak-minded. It's frustrating, and it drives me crazy that we're here. But for now we are, and I guess that's all I got in me for the moment. Kind of gassed out here now. We'll be doing a giveaway here in a couple weeks for any subscribers. I'm looking at, let's see, not the 9th, but it's the one after that, the 12th, 13th, 14th, the 15th? Yeah, the 15th, because today's the 1st. So 2 weeks from today, we're going to be doing our next giveaway for the supporters of the show. So you got 2 weeks if you want to sign up, buy me a coffee or Patreon. To sign up, get your name thrown in the hat. It's going to be really cool. It's going to be worth it. I promise. Yeah, I guess for now, that's what I had to say.